Okay, guys, welcome to Wonder Code. So today we'll be looking at writing a program to calculate the area of a square, rectangle, circle, and triangle. And also we'll show the units of measurements for all our values as well. So let's go straight into it. So we'll be starting from the area of a square. Okay. So I think that is like the simplest of them. So first, what is the area of a square? Area of a square is length length to the power of 2 or length times length. So first, let's get the value for the length. So let's say my length is equal to is going to take input for the value of the length. So let's say enter your let's enter length value. I think that should work. Okay, beautiful. So enter length value. Here we will enter the length or the value of the length rather. So area of our square is then length times length times length. Okay, so if I print out the area of the square rather, I should have, so let's just say the area of, let's display the area of our length. So we say the area of our square is, and then in a placeholder put length. I think this is better. Okay, but first, before we run our code, let's take care of this value here by typecasting. So we make sure that our inputs are floats, because that will give us a string input if we leave it that way. And then if we run this code, we should get everything as it should be. Okay, so if my length is 10, my value should be area of square is 10, sorry. So here is area. Let's take care of that area, and then if we rerun the code by 10, 100, beautiful. So now we can add our values. Enter length of, okay, so let's display, since we are asked to display length, then length will be length equal to print so if I add cm square here and try to rerun this code, let's see what happens. This shouldn't take this time. Okay, because of the comma, so we take off the comma, add a plus, and see to eliminate the space in between the 10 and the cm. That didn't work. What do we do? I don't want this. So instead of concatenating this, because you cannot concatenate a string value with an integer, sorry, a floating point value. So instead, let's use the f to work that out. So we say, instead I say the value for length here, and if we run this, it should work as intended. Beautiful. So if you enter the value for length as 10, then the area of the square is 10 cm square. Okay, mind you can also use the power function here by saying as the power of length. Yeah, this should work. So this is just saying the length by power 2. This is like power for index. So if you do the same value of 10 here, you should still get the same results. Beautiful. Okay, let's leave this. Let's work with this. That is that for the area of a square. Let me bring this down. So we don't start running this whole code all over again. I'm going to comment on this, and then let's continue with the area of a rectangle. Okay, so the area of a rectangle is length times breadth, not length to the power of 2. So that means you're going to have two different values for length and for breadth, and also the value for the area. So let's take two inputs. See, this is length and this is breadth. Okay, and then I'll say input. Since we are also working with numbers, let's say floating point numbers, we take inputs of, and then enter length value. Enter length value. Okay, so let's change this to breadth. Beautiful. So we are going to have two different numbers now. So we say, let's print our values. So print in curly brackets, we put length and then cm as well. So we can print the values that has been entered. And then let's duplicate that and change this to breadth. Okay, and then area is equal to the value of length multiplied by the value of the breadth. Then let me copy this message so we can just display it over here. So the area for a rectangle, or for rectangle, is, and then area as well. So for the purpose of this continuity, because I already have area here and also area here, so to make it different, let me change all these areas to area of square. So square, I think that works. And then let me change these areas as well to area of rect. Okay, nice, this works. Okay, beautiful. So if we run the code now, enter value for length, let's say 12, and value of breadth is 10. That's 12 times 10. Then our answer is 120. So we are correct. We are correct. We are correct. We are correct. Okay. So now let's move to the area of a circle, right? Yeah, circle. And then we're commenting on all these. Okay. So now the area of a circle. The area of a circle is pi radius square, right? Or half pi radius square. Yes, half pi radius square. So how many values are we looking at? We're looking at just the value for radius and the value for pi, but we can obtain the value for pi by importing the math library. So if we import math here and then we take the value for pi, for radius rather, so say radius is equal to the input, which is also still supposed to be a floating point number. So input of inputs, and then we close both inputs or both functions. So the floating point of radius is okay. Enter value for radius. Value for radius. Okay. And then we give a space. So our area then becomes, for then let's display our radius. So print, and then in the curly bracket radius and cm. Okay, so our area then becomes, let's not make this too, let's make our code clean. So the area of the radius then becomes half pi radius. Okay, so half, that's 0.5 times our radius times pi, right? So our pi, we just come here, write pi. I think our pi should be in capital letters. So yes, half radius pi. Am I getting this wrong? I think I'm getting this wrong. Is it maths.pi? Okay, I think this is it. So for me to be sure that, let me print the value for pi, or for maths.pi. I should have 22 point something. So if I print this, enter value for radius, let's say my radius is 13, then okay, yes, so my pi is correct. 3.141, approximately 3.142. So let's say, okay, so enter your value for radius. That has been done. So let me take out this. I no longer need this, and let me remove the comment on this. So let me round my value for pi into 2 places or 3 decimal places. I think that works. And yes, so if I print the area, so a function, and then the area of circle, is, and then area, but in curly brackets. Remember we agreed to add, oh sorry, we agreed to add a distinction from all areas, so they'll be different. So let's make this circle. Circle. Okay, okay. Beautiful. So if I run my code, I'll use a simple number for my for my radius. So let's say my radius is 4. Half of 4 is supposed to be 2. So 2 times 3, I'm supposed to have like 6 or 7 thereabouts. Or let's say 6. It's supposed to be 6. 6.2 thereabouts. So 6.2. So that means my code is working. My code is working. So that's that for the area, but I haven't added my centimeter square. So let me just add that to my display. Okay, centimeter square. Beautiful. So it should work now. So I will also comment on this import because I might not need it for the triangle, but let's see. So the area of the triangle, beautiful. So comment on that. So area of a triangle, so the area of a triangle is half base times height. So I will need two values, one for base, one for height. So let's say base is equal to float as well, wrapping the input, and the input wrapping the prompt to enter value. So enter base value, and let's duplicate that and change, and change the second one to height. Beautiful. So now we have two values for, we have the prompt for two values, one for base and one for height. So print the two values. So this is in a curly bracket, base and cm, and this is height to display both values. Okay. So then entering the area of a triangle, I think we're on a triangle, so area of triad. Okay, let's just leave it like this. So area of a triad is equal to half base times height, so 0.5 times base times the height, and then to display the results, print in your F area of a triangle, area of triangle, let's move A, area of triangle is equal to, in the curly bracket, okay, area of triad. Where is my curly bracket? Okay, curly bracket, area of triad. Beautiful. And then remember our cm square. So if I should run this code now, I'll be asked for two values. My base value, let's say that's 20, and this is 5. So the area of my triangle is 50. 20 times 5 is 100. Half of 100 is 50. So that means I'm correct. So basically that is how you write the code for the areas of this shape: square, rectangle, triangle, and a circle. Okay, so let me take out my comment and then rerun the full code from the top to see how it works. Okay, you might likely see some. Exactly. So it's good. Okay, okay. So do I have height defined in two places? I have length here in my first program. I also have length here in my second program. So let me make this all true. The length of a square. So everything looks identical. And then I just change it. So I have just length here now. Okay. Do I have breadth in another place as well? Okay, beautiful. So we can run our code now. And then let me give spaces in between the codes so it runs nicely and it's not it's been separated. So yes. There's a next line here and there's a next line here. Okay, so I can run my code now. Okay, so basically that is how you write a program on this. So this is for enter length value, but then how do we know this is which? How do we know which is which when running our code? So that will make us to add a printing statement at the top of all our different segments in our code. So let's say here we have calculating area of a square. Exactly. And then all we have to do is just copy this value, or copy that line of code rather, paste it here, change square to be rectangle here, and do the same thing for here. So make this circle. I am going to push this upwards because this is okay, and then do the same thing here, calculating the area of a triangle. Okay, beautiful. So if I run my code now, I should see those text at the top of my so I wanted to give a space from this line to this line, but I think my next line I want to apply it here as well to break. Okay, so at the beginning, oh, this would have been simpler if I had done it before pasting them, but it's all good. So next line and next line. So we're done still. Good. So let's run our code again. So yeah, calculating area of a square. So let's enter the value for length. Remember the area of a square, length times length. So if I say 5, then it's 25. Yeah, 5 cm, correct. Area of a square 25. Then enter the value for length. This is now for a rectangle. So if I say my value for rectangle is 5, they're going to ask me for the breadth because it's two-sided, or it's four-sided but having two sides take the same length. So this, and then 5 times 4 is 20. Correct. So calculating area for a circle, enter value for radius. So let's say my radius now is 10. So this is the area of the circle is centimeter. We'll take care of this value by rounding it up to 3 decimal places, and then calculating the area of a triangle. So the base value is 10, for instance, and then the value of the height is 20. So the area is 100. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, that works. So let's take care of this value here. The area of the circle is 15. So I rounded up this value. But what if I round up the area instead? So I don't have to round up in 2 places. So take this and remove this, and instead come down and say area of the circle is equal to round of area of the circle. Sorry about that. Round of area of the circle into 3 decimal places. I believe that should work. So if I run my code again, let's just use any value. Let's just be sure that what we want is working. So yes, the area of a circle is now rounded up to 3 decimal places. Beautiful, beautiful. So that is the end of the video for the area of this of circle, rectangle, square and triangle. Please like and subscribe and share. Thank you.